How to raise funds for your property investing. Hello, my name's Mark Fitzgerald and it's fantastic to have you joining me here at the Property Unleashed. So how do you raise funds for your property investing business? It's a very, very good question. It's one I get asked all the time. So I'm going to help you with that right here, right now. So first and foremost, you have to get out of your own way. And that can be quite difficult for some people. A lot of people think to themselves that it's going to be like them going to people with a begging bowl, saying, please sir, can I have some more? It's not at all. You've got to get that thinking out the window. At the end of the day, it is all about looking at how you can help people. And if you go with that mentality, you'll find it a lot easier trying to get funds and trying to get investors on board. You see, if you find a great deal, a deal that somebody with money sat in a bank could make money on and get their money back, you would be very, very selfish not to share that with them and give them the opportunity. And that's what you really want to be thinking about. I'm giving somebody the opportunity to be able to make some money. Obviously, you can either keep the property or make some money yourself as well, but you make it a win-win. As you always hear me say, making sure it's a win-win for everybody. So when you're starting and looking at raising funds in your property business, no matter what strategy it is you want to be doing, so you may be looking at just buying properties, refurbishing them, selling them on. You may be looking at taking rent-to-rent deals and doing HMOs or serviced accommodation. And by the way, if you need any free tools and resources in property investing, deal analyzing, we've got a rent-to-rent 10-step guide, we've got a serviced accommodation 10-step guide, and we've got a free masterclass as well on rent-to-rent. So if that interests you, then go and check out thepropertyunleashed.com. We also offer training, coaching, one-to-one mentoring as well, so we can help you with all your property needs if need be. But what you really want to be doing is making sure that you know what you're doing first and foremost. And by investing in yourself, it makes you more investable when people see that you're starting out. I hope that makes sense, because you really want to make sure that you know what you're doing, particularly if you're playing or you're using, playing is probably the wrong word, if you're using other people's money. So first and foremost, what you want to do is find a deal, learn how to structure a deal, learn how to do the numbers on a deal, and then once you've got a decent deal, you want to be having investors ready in the pipeline, ready to go. You don't want to be, because potentially that deal could slip straight through your fingers if you haven't got anybody that can move. Speed and certainty are massive in property. If you can go in there and say, I've got this investor, I've got this deal, put them together, let's do business, you will put yourself a cut above everybody else out there, and it will be like putting you in the top 5% of doing property deals. So first and foremost, what I always say to everybody is you got to ask your family and you got to ask your friends. But you don't come out with a begging bowl or anything like that. What you've actually got to do, and it's a mentor that showed me and taught me this myself, is really you need to ask them, who do they know who may be interested in this deal? So know what the deal is. Even if you put together, so to speak, a dummy deal, you put together something that on paper is exactly what you're going to be looking for, and you just say to family and friends, who do you know who might be interested in funding this? You will be surprised the amount of people who have got money squirreled away for a rainy day, as that was the old way of doing things, that are just sat on it, not really making any money, not really wanting to spend it, not really knowing what to do with it. So if you can go up to somebody like this with a deal and just say, who do you know who might be interested in a deal like this? You can make 5% on your money. And remember not to go in too high with the percentages. If you say 10% out the gate, most people have been used to very low percentages. Of course, they're increasing and they'll decrease all the time, depending on when you're watching this video. But at the end of the day, if you go in too high and it seems too good to be true, you'll put people off, particularly people that don't understand all of this. So make sure it's a reasonable percentage. I mean, what you could actually do, and what is far better, is to say, well, I've got a deal like this. Who do you know who might be interested in this? What sort of percentage or return would you be getting? It depends on what the investor wants. What sort of return would the investor like to be getting? Now, somebody might say, well, I'd be quite happy with 4% at the end of the day and first charge on the property. happy days. You know, you go in there at 6, 7, 8% thinking, well, the more the better, you might actually do yourself out of a justice. So you could go back and say, well, I'm quite happy to do it 5%. Woo, even better for them. At the end of the day, that's great. You may have been happy to go at 10%. So it's really about asking family and friends first and foremost, seeing who might have a bit of money, sat around, that's not doing anything. And of course, if you already know them, if you've already got the know, like and trust, that's a hell of a lot easier than starting from scratch. So make sure that you don't bypass this just thinking, nobody in my family's got any money, none of my friends have got any money, because they may very well know somebody that has. And you can always see if the deal's good enough to cut them into it as well. If they give you like a referral or something like that, you can pay them a referral fee or something. So it can work very, very well. Also make sure that you can explain to people, particularly if you're new to this, but you can explain to people what it is you're going to be doing. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you want to do rent to rent. You found a perfect deal, but maybe you've got it through a deal sourcer, or maybe it needs a light refurb and it's going to cost you, 3, 4, 5 grand or something like that. Somebody might have that, be able to loan that to you. You could give them a 5% return on that and pay them back through the profits of the deal. Once they're paid and cleared off, all the profits are coming your way. And we teach people how to do stuff like that on the Rent to Rent Business Builder program. And of course, it's a great way when you know what you're doing to be able to explain it. So this is how this is going to work. We do this, this, and then this, depending on the strategy, of course, that you're doing. Now, make sure you've got a plan A. So a best case scenario is you give me £5,000, I do this deal, I put it into that, I pay you back a 5% return on the £5,000, and I'll pay you back each month when my profit is this. I should have your money back to you in 6 months. But have a plan B as well. If things don't quite go to plan, it might be 12 months. Ask people, is that length of time okay for you? In that time, I will continue to pay you the 5%. Is this okay? Is this satisfactory? Get them on board. Let them know that you have a plan A and that you have a plan B. And worst case scenario is when I'm speaking to investors and we're looking at doing a deal, potentially buying a property, converting it, and then selling it. I do like to say, best case scenario, plan A is this. We buy the property, we do everything, and then we sell it on for this profit. You get your money, we get our percentage. Everyone's a winner, baby. Plan B is the market crashes, we can't get rid of it. So we'll have this percentage of the rents. So we'll keep hold of it, we'll rent the property out, and we'll keep paying this sort of percentage off the rents for you until the market's better and we can sell it. Now that could be 1, that could be 3 years, anything like that. So at least you've got a plan B. And plan C is worst case scenario is everything just goes to pot. They've got first charge on the property at the end of the day as well, so they can still recoup their money. People must know that an investment in anything is always a bit of a risk. But we want to limit the risk, and we don't ever want to go in there and be fully risky, okay? But you need to know what you're doing. And this is first and foremost why I really start this early in the video. Know what you're doing, okay? And if you're not sure about what to do with the strategy that you want to do, go and learn it. Go and learn it before you start asking for people's money. We don't want to rip people off. We don't want to lose money even by accident, because that would be really, really bad, okay? But if you have learned it and you're in a community of like-minded people and you know you can ask these questions and you can basically get yourself out of any sticky situation, which most of the time you can, happy days. So once you've gone through family and friends and everything, just start letting everybody know what it is you're doing. So make sure you're posting about it on social media. Make sure that, if you've got a job where potentially you posted about property deals and stuff like that, that might interfere with the work or something, just say it's a hobby. A hobby of mine is property. I love property, so I'm looking at doing these sort of things and talk about them. When you're doing viewings, make sure you take a few selfies or take a few pictures on the viewings and just post about things. Start building up a track record that, Mark, he's interested in property. I see it all the time on his posts. I'll ask him about that because I'm interested in property as well. All of a sudden, somebody potentially with a couple of £100,000 might come up to you and say, do you know what? I'm quite interested in property. What is it you're doing? Well, this is what we're looking for and this is what we're doing. And this is how we could potentially help people. Do you know anybody who this could help? Yes, I do. Me. Do you know what I mean? So it's all about making sure that you're putting it out there. People can't flow to you if they don't know you. So make sure that you're known for property. You'll make sure you're known for whatever strategy it is or whatever property business it is that you're building. Okay? And then more and more people will, over time, start reaching out to you saying, I like what you're doing, I see what you're doing, can you explain more about it to me? And of course, you can only do that by posting it on social media, talking about it with family and friends, and making sure that everybody understands this. So when you're actually proposing and putting these deals together, I would say make sure that you know what returns you're going to be offering, and of course you can structure it that way. Make sure you're happy with the length of time that you're going to have on the contract, and the investor's happy with the length of time. And also ask people, what are they doing with their money at the moment? You know, is their money just sat around doing nothing for them? So make sure that people are happy and aware that they can actually, you know, get a better return for their money, and it's really going to benefit them to work with you. And then lastly, what I would say is when you get people that are interested, and you will get people that are interested, put a dummy deal together, give it to them and say, are you ready to rock and roll? Before you actually have a real deal that you need somebody to act on. Very, very important that you do this, because if somebody says they're serious, you find a deal, you get everything lined up and they let you down, it's going to do your credibility in. So put a dummy deal together for any investor, throw it out in front of them and say, we need to act on this fast. Remember, you said you could, this hits all the boxes, let's rock and roll. And if they go, oh, hold on now, you know they're not serious about it. And there's so many people out there that are time wasters that will bottle it when it comes down to it. You need to know that they're ready to act. And you may say, well, Mark, what happens when they say yes, 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 push all the buttons? You could just say, unfortunately, I didn't act quick enough. I was just at the end of it all and I lost that deal, but I'm ready for the next one. Are you? And if they say yes, then you know with certainty and speed, you can get straight out there and you can make property deals happen and really, really impress everybody out there. So make sure that you cover some of these off when you're looking at getting started with your property investing and you're looking at raising funds. Make sure you know what you're doing with other people's money before you actually do it. So get yourself educated in those. Visit thepropertyunleashed.com for all tools and resources that we offer there as well. And if you do need any help or any coaching or any one-to-one mentoring, feel free to reach out to us. Hell, reach out to me anyway and let me know what you're doing in property. We even have the ultimate serviced accommodation training program, which takes you from complete novice to building a six-figure serviced accommodation business, which is massive. We have Graham Linley heading that up, and it's a fantastic training product where we coach you, we show you exactly what to do, we give you $5,000 worth of terms and conditions and contracts, all the training that you need that you keep access to. It really is complete and utter hand-holding serviced accommodation greatness. So if you're interested in investing into serviced accommodation, check that out. The ultimate serviced accommodation business builder. Check out thepropertyunleashed.com and you'll be able to find out about it there. And if you need more help or you have any questions on that, reach out to me. More than happy to go through it with you and show you how brilliant it is. We've got people that have been on it for like 3 weeks, have already signed their first deal. They've got another 3 deals coming. They're absolutely flying. They're setting up their serviced accommodation businesses and getting out there and making sure that they're building the property deals that they want. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until the next video, take care and bye for now.